When you buy a home, there are some costs that people don't know about or don't fully understand or just aren't really told about. Now, I don't want to scare you off from buying a home in Florida, but I do want to educate you so that you know what to look out for and what questions to ask. There's going to be a lot of important information in this video, so you'll want to watch it the whole way through without skipping around so that you don't miss out on anything. And if you gain some knowledge from this video, I would greatly appreciate it if you would give it a thumbs up and subscribe, as it does help to push my videos out to more buyers just like you. So first of all, let's talk about property taxes. Now, property tax rates in Florida are generally kind of in the middle compared to other states. So some of you moving here from out of state may see a big savings. However, there is something you need to be aware of when you come here to buy from out of state that I think sometimes gets overlooked, or when you move even within Florida. If you do not currently own a home in Florida and you are looking at a home to buy, you really need to jump on a property tax calculator to accurately assess what your taxes are going to be. Now, I found an extreme example for you to illustrate exactly why you need to do this. So I searched in the MLS for the term first time on the market, and I found a home that has had the same owners since 1984 when the home was new. Now, many of you will pay attention to the property taxes if you find this home online, and you'll say, wow, that's amazing. The taxes are only $975 per year. We should look at this house. And if your lender asks you what the taxes are to calculate your monthly payment, your mortgage payment could be calculated on that amount because those were last year's taxes. But when you jump on an estimated property tax calculator, you'll understand that the home is going to be reassessed based on your purchase price, and your new tax amount is going to be like $4,500. Now, once you make that home your full-time residence and you let the state of Florida know that, the amount that your taxes can increase each year will be limited. So it limits the annual increase in the assessed value of your homesteaded property to 3% or the change in the National Consumer Price Index, the CPI, whichever is less. So this is done through the homestead exemption, and it's really, really important that you take care of that when you move to Florida when you buy a home. If you can't figure out how to do that, just please feel free to email me, or below this video you'll find a link to set up a time to talk to me, and please feel free to take advantage of that. Number 2, new construction taxes. So if you're buying new construction, this tax issue is also really important. On the first year that you own the home, your taxes are most likely going to be figured on that raw vacant land. So your taxes literally could be something like $300, and that's going to change when the value of the house is assessed in the second year. So make sure you are aware of that when you are figuring your monthly payment on new construction. Number 3, CDD fees. If you're buying a home built after about the year 2000, many of them are going to have what's called a CDD fee. And a CDD fee is not the same as an HOA. What it is a way to offset the cost of building amenities by spreading them out over usually like a 30-year period and dividing them up among the homeowners. As you drive around looking at various communities, especially new construction, you'll see those big flags out front that list the builder's name, and some of them will say no CDD fee. That'll be at like the entrance of the community. I find that generally south of Orlando there are CDDs, and north of Orlando they are much less common. Now, if you bought a home that is not new but is like from the year 2000 or later, that CDD fee is often not mentioned anymore. It kind of gets overlooked and forgotten about because it's just become part of the property tax bill and the homeowner really forgets about it. So the best way, in my experience, to find out if you have a CDD is to look at the property's tax bill, which is public record. And you can look this up. And then you'll find a line item that says CDD fee and what the amount is. Number 4, added new construction fees. So let's talk about new construction again. If you're buying new construction, one thing you might want to ask, and you definitely should ask, is there a builder fee? Some builders have a little 1% or 1.5% builder fee that they add in there that they might not exactly talk about. I mean, they're not going to hide it from you, but I know how you get after you've visited the model home and you're not really listening to the numbers as you're going over paperwork. You're already more or less mentally planning where your furniture is going to go. So definitely be sure to ask this question during your sales consultation. And if it's not clear, ask again. Number 5, HOA transfer fees. So these can have a number of different names, such as a capital contribution fee or an initiation fee. It's simply an injection of capital required at closing by buyers to the HOA. Whether you're buying new construction or a resale home, this fee can apply. And kind of the worst part about it is it's very often not disclosed. And to the best of my knowledge, there isn't a whole lot a buyer can do about it. The fee is supposed to be presented to you on the HOA disclosure, but I find that a lot of homeowners and or their agents don't bother to look this information up. So when it comes to you, it is disclosed that it's going to be a buyer fee. It will show up on the estoppel letter prior to closing, and it will be a fee to you at the closing table. And it can range from $500 all the way up to maybe $2,000 if you're living in a guard-gated community. So if it's important to you, you really want to dig into this during your inspection period so that it's not a nasty surprise. Because it is already disclosed as a buyer fee, it's not going to be something you can dig your heels into later on and get out of the contract over it. So do note, I am not a lawyer, but I have had this happen enough times that I know. Number 6, homeowners insurance. Okay, there are a few things I want to talk about, but let's talk about what you can do to protect yourself from the high cost of insurance. So there's an addendum that will allow you to cap off the amount that you're willing to pay for homeowners insurance. So if you start getting your quotes and they come back really, really high, it would be an escape clause for you from the purchase, because you really can't usually get homeowners insurance until you've had a 4-point done, which would kind of be after your inspection period or at least during it. So I would certainly want to use this addendum if the home was old or near the coast or maybe in a flood zone. And if you're concerned about what kind of quotes you're going to get, definitely throw this addendum in there. Number 7, the future cost of homeowners insurance. Okay, there's not much we can do about what's going to happen in the future, but there are some things that we can definitely plan ahead for and understand a little bit better. If you're buying a home, for example, with a 14-year-old roof, you can pretty much be assured that you are going to have to, or at least you're going to have issues with your homeowner's insurance in the near future. Even a metal roof or a cement tile roof is no longer a panacea, as these too, after a certain age, are causing problems for insurance. So if your seller tells you this home has a lifetime, it's going to last for forever, that may be true, but your homeowner's insurance isn't going to accept it. So you want to make sure that you're either negotiating a new roof or you're getting a really great price on this house, because it will probably need to be replaced soon. So keep that in mind. I don't want it to be a huge expense that you are not expecting. Number 8, flood insurance. So flood insurance is something to think about even if the home that you're buying is not in a high risk for flooding area. During Hurricane Ian, there was a lot of flooding, as we all know, but many of the homes that flooded were not in what is normally considered a high risk flood area. And so those homeowners weren't covered by flood insurance, and their normal homeowners insurance didn't cover the flooding. I sold a home, for example, last week that was located on a lake, but not located in a high-risk flood zone. So the house was significantly elevated over this lake. And during Hurricane Ian, the previous homeowner went to bed that night really fretting about the lake behind her home as it inched towards her back porch. And when she woke up, she actually had 4 inches of water in her house, everywhere. But it wasn't from the lake. It was coming in from the front door, not the back. And it was because there was poor drainage. The entire neighborhood had flooded, and nobody had any kind of flood insurance because nobody was expecting it. So many communities, especially in areas where there have been a lot of new construction and a lot of stress on existing infrastructure, saw this happen. Flood insurance is not exorbitantly expensive, especially if you're not located in one of those high-risk flood areas. So it's something to consider, as we saw from Hurricane Ian. So I hope that you have found this video useful and this information helpful. And as always, if you have any further questions, my contact information is below this video. Please feel free to schedule a call with me, and I would be happy to help you out on your home search in Central Florida. Thanks so much for watching.